Professor Vertigas.
And tonight we're reviewing Return of the Living Dead.
The 1985 classic, Return of the Living Dead. But you know what, Ghoul? Before we start talking about Return of the Living Dead, we got a little business to attend to. So last week, well, 2 weeks ago, in our last episode when we reviewed Halloween, we put forth a challenge. Who could tell us the middle name of Michael Myers? Do you remember what it was? Nope. Audrey. Michael Audrey Myers. Something that was only known if you had seen the television version of Halloween for the longest time, until the age of the internet. So, our winner gets a Blu-ray version of Halloween 2, the Ghoul's favorite, with a special cover drawn by the Ghoul himself. And our winner is Miss Nicole Cheney of Atoka, Tennessee. Thank you for watching the show, Nicole. We hope you're watching this episode. We appreciate you being our viewer, and we hope you enjoy this. We'll get this out to you this week. All right? All right, Ghoul. So, Return of the Living Dead. What's going on in this movie?
So, there are two guys working at a hospital place thingy.
The Unita Medical Supply Company.
Freddie and Frank.
Yep, Freddie is played by Tom Matthews, who is also known as Tommy Jarvis from Friday the 13th Part 6, and Frank is played by the great James Karen. So what happens to Freddie and Frank?
They go to this camp thing, and he says, "You ever seen Night of the Living Dead?" But it's a real thing then. And he hits it, and a chemical spreads out to them that turns them into zombies.
Yep, do you remember the name of that chemical?
2,4,5 Trioxin.
2,4,5-trioxin. And after that hits the air, chaos ensues. So before we talk more about that movie, we need to talk about the history of how this movie came to be. So George Romero, John Russo, and Russ Schreiner had all worked together to make Night of the Living Dead. When George wanted to make a sequel, he had discussions with those guys, and what they agreed upon was that George could make his sequels, which came to be Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead and so forth, but John Russo would retain the rights to the name Living Dead. And he began work on Return of the Living Dead, which over time, and with also some rewrites by Dan O'Bannon, who also wrote Alien, Dan O'Bannon came to direct this film, which has a much different tone than Night of the Living Dead, doesn't it? So, Freddie and Frank get exposed to this, and what happens then?
It's raining, and the chemicals, it goes into the rain. But it rains down on the graveyard, and they come back from the dead.
Yes. To the soundtrack, "Do You Wanna Party?" Boom! And they start coming out. So, I don't know if there is a more 1980s horror movie than this movie. Great 80s soundtrack with punk new wave type music going on. Who are Freddie's friends?
Well, I actually can't remember all their names.
Oh, that's okay. But he has a bunch of friends.
All I know is Suicide, Spider, Trash, and Tina.
Yep, so Tina is Freddie's girlfriend, played by Beverly Randolph. Suicide, who's kind of the unofficial leader of their group, played by Mark Venturini, who's also known from Friday the 13th Part 5. Spider, played by the great Miguel Nunez, who is also Demon in Friday the 13th Part 5. And he's been in a ton of other films. Very, very nice man. And then Trash is played by horror scream queen Linnea Quigley, who's been in a ton of other films and was also married to makeup effects artist Steve Johnson. So rain's falling in the graveyard, all the zombies are popping out, right? And chaos ensues. So what makes Return of the Living Dead so much different than most zombie movies is, one, the great soundtrack. We loved this soundtrack, didn't we?
Two, they actually say brains.
This is the first movie where zombies actually
and they always bite your head.
They go through, which is that possible?
Your body.
Which is it possible to jump into somebody's brain? It is
you have to get through the skull and a hard head.
Thank you. Yeah, but we'll ignore that for now.
Yeah.
But great soundtrack, different zombies. Are these zombies slow?
They're quick.
Are they stupid?
Nope, they're smart.
Can you kill them with a blow to the head?
Nope.
Wait, but in Night of the Living Dead, you could just kill him by destroying the brain.
The movie lied.
The movie lied! Oh, man. So there is, and that kind of harkens to the other thing that makes this movie so different and such a cult classic, is the humor. There is so many just funny little one-liners going on here, puns, just great, great stuff. Even the zombies get to have a little bit of humor in there, don't they? Right? Bunch of paramedics show up to try to take care of Freddy and Frank because they've been hurt, and the zombies attack. And then what do the zombies do?
Send more paramedics.
They get on the mic and they have them send more paramedics. Oh, it's great.
They come driving in. They all attack the car.
Yep, they just get them. So much fun in this movie.
Then
right?
cops come, and one of the others says, "Send more cops."
Yep.
They do the same thing.
These are smart thinking zombies in this one. Something about, what was that chemical again?
2,4,5 trioxin.
Something about that 2,4,5 trioxin that like lets them think, lets them move, act as pretty much regular people.
They can remember a little bit from when they were alive.
Yep. And
The
why
ones that were dead longer, they can't remember as much.
Yep.
But the ones that were new to being dead, they can remember a bit.
They can. So, if there's one thing that is a kind of a downslide to this film, is some of the zombie makeup, right? So the first zombie we see is who? We met him at Living Dead Weekend. Who was it?
I actually can't remember.
Tarman?
Right, Dummy.
So Tarman's makeup is incredible.
Amazing.
Amazing. Great stuff.
I
And
almost
then,
got stuck to Tarman at Return of the Living.
or Living Dead Weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Trash's makeup when she becomes a zombie is really good. Really scary face. They did a great job there. But a lot of the other zombies just kind of look like folks with some dirt put on their face.
A little bit of mud all around them, ripped
Yeah.
up clothes.
But Freddy's makeup, the makeup they put on Tom Matthews when he goes full zombie and he's trying to eat Tina's brain, his was creepy, right?
Pretty good.
Because what was going on with his mouth?
Well, he was slobbering a
Yeah,
lot.
he's foaming
so
from the mouth.
really gross.
He looks really good. So, you know, this is one of my favorite horror movies, one of my favorite horror comedies. Skull ranking. What do you give it, Ghoul?
I give it 5.
I also give it a 5. Love this movie so much. Now, our casualty count. We don't want to give away too many spoilers, so we're not going to say what really happens in this film. If you have not seen Return of the Living Dead, do you need to watch it?
Yeah.
You need to watch
Find
it.
out.
All we're going to say for our casualty count is that everyone dies in this movie in some way. We won't tell you how.
That's still kind of a spoiler.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying the casualty count is huge. But not everybody becomes a zombie. So that kind of keeps some of the spoilers out there. But you need to watch this movie. Now, who's our hero of horror?
Spider.
Spider. Why?
He just does a lot of work.
He does a lot of work. He saves Tina initially when she falls in the mud, is about to get eaten by zombies. So, Spider, Mr. Miguel Nunez, hero of horror, salute to you. We also want to, kind of point out, while this is kind of a young movie, a lot of young actors in it, the movie's really held together by a couple of other, older performances. Clu Gallagher as Bert, Freddy and Frank's boss, is just perfect in this movie. And also Frank, James Karen, when he realizes he's becoming a zombie, he kind of does something really sweet, kind of hits you in the heart. So there's some good emotion to this movie too. For something that's so over the top, a lot of fun. Real lot of fun movie, don't you think? So, I think we need to give another contest. Yeah? So, for our second contest now, second ever, James Karen, who plays Frank, was also known, despite his numerous movie roles, he was in Any Given Sunday, a ton of other films. He was known, when I grew up, for a certain commercial he did. He was a spokesman for a certain company. If somebody can tell me that company, and I'll give you a hint, it was a grocery store. First person to respond in the comments with what grocery store James Karen did commercials for is going to get a prize from us next time. Alright? So, until then, Return of the Living Dead. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. 5 skulls out of 5. 5 skulls out of 5. What do we need folks to do after they watch this video?
They need to comment down below, ring the bell so they get notified every time we upload, and give a thumbs up.
Yes. Give us a
No
like.
thumbs down.
No.
Thumbs up.
But if you see something we could do better, or if there's a movie that you think Ghoul is capable of watching that you would like us to review, hit us up and let us know in the comments, what do you think of Return of the Living Dead? Where do you rate it in your pantheon of other zombie movies? Okay? So until next time, folks, take care, like and subscribe, be well.